Hello, and welcome to this week's Top 10 Minor Region Power Rankings, where I look at the top 10 teams in the LOL Esports minor region space, utilizing stats and algorithms to try and figure out how they're ranked. Keep in mind, this is based off of stats. I do not watch these teams play. If you watch all the regions, I'm more than willing to, hear insight and things like that on how the team should be ranked. If you just watch some of the regions, that's fine too. To give some insight on what individual teams or region hierarchy should be. It's when you intermix them and we don't give every region the same amount of respect and time that we can start to develop some bias, which is why I personally do not want to even use any bias in this top 10 ranking at all. That's why, so the three regions that are out are Brazil, Fluxo are 18th, Latin America, Astralic 29th, and LCO Pentnet Gaming are 45th. Those three regions, relative to Vietnam, PCS, Japan, and how they intermix with each other right now based off of last year at international events, that's how they rank. Which are going to upset some people, but that's the reality of it. How did your region do last year relative to these other regions across both events? That's got to be taken into account. 10th, Sengoku Gaming from Japan. They're 8-0. They went 2-0 last week. Jet in mid lane went 34 kills, 18 deaths, 38 assists over 6 games. Undefeated. They did beat DFM, who are ranked above them. They did beat SoftBank Hawks last week. Statistically, they are not as strong as DFM. They are very close, mind you, 9th and 10th. They've been close for a long time. It leads me to believe DFM have had a couple bad days. DFM still working through some things, actually. So Detonation Focus Me from Japan are 5-2. They only played one series last week, going 1-0. Since Friday, because last week they did play on Thursday, but that was included in last week's power rankings. Aria went 9-5-17 in the one series DFM played over the weekend. DFM, obviously, like I said, working through some stuff. Udapan was put at support. They pulled Harp for the beginning of their series and had Milan play at AD carry. Maybe that's a sign that Udapan may be considering a role swap if the team needs it. I'm wondering, how this is going to go, right? Are they looking at considering getting Harp out of there as a Korean import and try and find another one? I don't know if he has Japanese residency. I don't know what they're trying to do. But DFM are playing with the formula right now. 8th place, Beyond Gaming. They are ranked 4th in the PCS. In my stats, they're 7-5. They went 2-1 last week. Kong Yu led the way in the jungle, going 9-2-16 across 3 games. 7th, CTBC Flying Oyster, CFO, obviously a the world's main event represented from PCS last year. Went 8-4 on the split so far. Went 1-2 last week. Shun went 11 kills, 5 deaths, and 10 assists at 80 carry. 6th, from Vietnam, we have Team Secret. They're the 4th ranked VCS team on my board, going 1-1. Now, VCS only played last week thus far, so 1-1, 1-1. Eddie at 80 carry went 29 kills, 14 deaths, 13 assists. I believe he had 24 of the 29 kills in 2 games. They play best of 3s in the VCS, as does Japan. So keep that in mind. Japan and VCS playing best of 3s. Latin America plays best of 3s. PCS plays best of 1. CBLOL best of 1s. And the LCO now are on to their second stage. So they're playing best of 5s. So that's kind of the way things are going on that front. 5th place, we have Frank Esports from the PCS. They're 7-5, went 1-2 last week. Holo was their best player in the jungle, 6-5-14. Kind of struggled, right? 6-5-14 isn't the greatest KDA. It's definitely not the sexiest. So, they've looked good all year long stats-wise, and last year this happened. Stats screamed that Frank were good, but Frank, in the end, faltered, and we'll see how things go. Solo kills definitely been a mixed bag for them so far. Fourth place, PSG Talon, the top-ranked PCS team, and also my top-ranked minor team in my top 25. Obviously, that doesn't match up with this. VCS, we had a couple games in the VCS this morning, which actually caused this board to change. And GAM were first on my top 25. GAM and PSG, I think, are just very, very good teams. I've seen them play. It's the same players for the most part. So, in the case of GAM and PSG, there are a lot of faces that I recognize. So, I have a good idea of what these two teams are compared to everybody else. So, PSG at 10-2, 3-0 are fourth according to stats. Ozzy 12, 2, and 27 in top lane. Finally really showing up in a big way after, replacing Hanabi. So that's that. Third, Team Flash from Vietnam. They are 0-2. And this is where things are going to get kind of contested. Why is an 0-2 team in third? Stats-wise against GAM, Flash should not have lost either game. They were better in both games. And I think they played Cerbis, who are ranked above them this morning. And they also showed some competitive stats as well. So their algorithm right now is kind of screwy. They're third. That's what the stats say. I use the same, format and formula for everybody. The basic, the basic groundwork of the formula. So when Team Flash are third, over in the next couple weeks, the VCS, good God, the VCS algorithm and numbers and output is all gonna just work itself out. So right now, Puddin, yep, their AD carry's name is Puddin, 20 kills, 10 deaths, 19 assists. So they're third. I don't expect them to be up there for long, maybe not even next week, depending on how things go. Second, Cerberus Esports from the VCS are 2-0, went 2-0 so far this past week. Artemis at 80 carry, 36 kills, 10 deaths, 27 assists. That is a very, very nice KDA. And then first we have Team Wales from the VCS. They're 2-0, went 2-0 so far last week. Glory, 18-8 and 33 in mid lane. So, like I said, the VCS numbers are going to work themselves out. We saw this when the PCS started, that there were a lot of PCS teams, like 6 of the top 10 or whatever. And as they started playing against each other, it just cannibalizes itself and eventually works itself out. So that's kind of the way I view this. That's why I don't use strength of schedule in my algorithm, because everybody eventually plays everybody the same amount of times. So because of that, in the end, it should kind of be close to where it should be. So that's it. If you like the video, like it. Comment down below with your opinions. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a supporter. And thank you for watching.